Hey guys, Sure Midget here. So as you can see, it is winter and it's pretty awful. Thankfully, I got the day off today, first time in a while. And I had just gotten this gun in the mail yesterday to work on, so I figured perfect timing. It's a day off. I don't get days off very often at all, so I'm gonna go ahead and build it. So I spent only about an hour on this. I'm pretty good with HPAs. I've been doing this for quite a while. So fusion engines, F2s, V12s, even jacks, like I'm really experienced in. So installations on those are a piece of cake for me. Plus some of the stuff was already done to the engine, like the trigger pull was adjusted, so that saved me like 5 minutes there. So stuff like that really helps me get stuff done sooner. So the guy that sent this, he sent it from California. I actually just uploaded a video on his buddy's gun, the dual sector gear Krytac M-Lock M version, or whatever it's called. It's just a Krytac M4, and I dual sector geared that one. It's only shooting 30 rounds a second. That was the previous video that I uploaded, but there will probably be a video in between that one and this. But they both play at like Game Pod and Tac City, supposedly. So they're out there with a lot of those fields. And this one is HPA. It is a fusion engine, so he's got an HPA instead of an AEG. Anyways, let's start from the back, go to the front. So this is a MFT stock. He bought this brand new and the buffer tube, and I installed both of them because there was a PDW Krytac stock on here, and it was missing the actual adjustment piece. So he had purchased an MFT stock and a Krytac buffer tube, so I installed those for him. Looks really nice. The FCU and battery is in here. The battery that he sent me does not fit back in here very well at all. It doesn't fit down the actual buffer tube, so I'd recommend maybe a little smaller battery. Moving forward, we obviously have a G&G pistol grip. This is one of their ergonomic grips. No logos, but I can tell it's a G&G because they do those grips. It's pretty nice, pretty comfortable. Standard Mark II body, so it is the Trident Mark II. So it's got the billet receiver. Standard features, it has a interesting selector switch here, which the field that installed the engine for him actually did that, or he did himself. It looks red. It's almost like a reddish pink. It's like a light red, and it's very easy to move. It barely clicks into place, so I think it's like one of those light springs on it. I don't know. It works and clicks fine, so it's personal preference maybe. But the field that worked on this gun couldn't do it worth crap. He said that the gun shot better as an AEG than it did HPA, and they made him buy some parts. They put a red nozzle in here with a black poppet. You know how hot that is going to shoot? Properly tuned, if I were to have grabbed this gun and tuned it and kept the black poppet and the purple nozzle in here, at 80 psi it probably would have shot 450 FPS. Like, ridiculous numbers. So that was an awful mix. I don't know why the field, the tech there even, such a dummy. So what we have in here, I'll actually get to that later. We'll skip that. Sorry. You'll have to wait on that. I'm going to finish the externals. So the Krytac key mod on here, just a basic key mod with a AFG on the bottom. There is also the TLR light. Looks like the same one that his buddy has. This one is wired up to a pressure pad, which sits perfectly on the rail because there's like these guides for it, and it's, like I said, a pressure pad, so you can turn it on and off. That's cool. His buddy's was set up with the toggle switch on the top, which is also cool, but this is, I probably prefer the pressure switch. On the front, this is pretty friggin' cool, guys. This is one of those new amplifier tracers. So it's the Wild Hog or whatever Noveski tracer internals, but with a Noveski external. Now, it doesn't really make the gun that loud. It's not like a true amplifier, but it does trace the BBs, and I would prefer this over a suppressor. I generally don't really care for suppressor looks, but they're cool for tracers. So either a hop-up tracer unit, which are a little bit harder to do and more work, or one of these, which is really nice and simple and really cool. So very unique there. So I assume he's going to use tracers out of this. Again, he plays at Game Pod indoor, and then I think he plays at those outdoor fields in California as well. Last but not least, we have a Bushnell Red Dot, which is a real gun company, and I would assume this is a real one. And then there's actually two risers. There's a UTG riser that it's on, and then a second riser. since he doesn't have the flashlight on the top of the gun, if I could suggest anything to him, I would say take this bottom riser off and then just drop it down. It would look much nicer, and you still should be able to aim down your sight because you don't have anything over here. Now, he could have this on here because he wears a dye and cannot see down the sight unless it is that high. So if that's the case, then I guess just leave it. It looks a little funky, but if it actually allows you to aim down your sight with a mask and you like aiming down your sight, then keep it by all means. That's up to you. But generally, I keep my sights, you know, on that one riser, and I don't aim down my sights. I just watch my BBs. That's how I play, but you can do whatever you want. So that's it for the externals. Talk about the hop-up. It is the stock hop-up unit, and I'm not sure what the Buckingham barrel is. I thought he said the field upgraded it. It shoots good. I'm not touching it. It shoots good, and I'm just going to leave it as is. For the engine, it is the Polar Star America version, or whatever they call it, like the Patriot is what it's called. So it's the silver engine with the blue on it. He used a speed trigger by HPA, which has the adjustable trigger pull there. The line here is a amped IGL, which is a pretty nice line, good condition. The poppet is a red nozzle, or sorry, a red poppet. I put a red poppet back in here because ditched the black one, retarded, and then a red nozzle. Now this gun shoots too hot. He wanted it at 330 to 350 with a .2, and it's shooting, the lowest it can go is 360 and still feed. So I'm going to suggest to him a blue nozzle. He should be able to run 80 PSI with the blue nozzle and get 350 or so, which is perfect for indoor and outdoor because this is set up for high rate of fire. 35 rounds a second is what it's set up for, and if he goes outdoor, I recommend popping high caps in here and running some full auto at 350 with the 2, and he said he plays with 2.8, so that'll get him a little bit of joule increase. He'll be like 1.3 with the 2.8, which is still acceptable for pretty much all outdoor fields, even if it's HPA, and then some of the indoor fields there allow that as well. I am using 3s. 2.8s or 3s will work good for him. He said he uses 2.8s, but if he wants to use 3s, it seems to feed fine. Let's go ahead and start shooting here. A little bit. Oh yeah, that's good. Pretty consistent, pretty accurate. I'd say 200 feet. Oh yeah. Empty, so it did feed on semi-auto. That is a Mag brand mid-cap. And then we'll try an Elite Force mid-cap, which are pretty good mags, actually. And of course, with it being a fusion engine, I mean, the trigger response is endless, which is awesome for outdoors to be able to have that advantage. And also, I feel like he could be able to do that at GamePod, because GamePod is like an outdoor field indoor, basically. It's gigantic. Elite Force mid-cap on full auto with .3s. Let's do a couple semi-shots first. Okay, full auto. It feeds. And it shoots great. Oh, there's a couple in here. I heard one skip. Let's see if there's just a couple. Yeah, so full auto on this thing's just a hose. I mean, 35 isn't crazy fast, but yeah, it's basically just a line of BBs. Very consistent at that. So we're out of BBs. Let's go ahead and see what the efficiency looks like on this particular tank. Again, this was a 48 cubic inch, which is considered a small tank for me. 80 psi on the regulator, and we're about out of air there. I'm gonna go ahead and load up probably one mid cap, and go ahead and shoot another one to finish off the tank, one or two more. As you can see, the feeding there is just perfect. Fantastic performance, good trigger response, rate of fire. Got pretty much everything a player could want, you know. It's pretty good range as well. So, great indoor gun and a good high rate of fire outdoor gun. Very light, too. It's a very light gun, so he can run around and have some really good fun with this thing. So, if you have any questions or anything, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. And if you haven't seen his buddy's gun, the Krytac M-Lock M version M4 dual sector gear, then go check out that video because I uploaded that last week. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.